flashing lights, and a cop car. They're getting pulled over. If they get busted, he's toast. He can't tell the cop he's undercover, especially with 3 armed outlaws in the truck. He'd be going to jail for years, or at least until Operation Roadkill was over. He hands over his fake ID. If the state trooper runs the ID through the system, it's over. The air in the truck is thick with tension. Nobody's making eye contact. The cop's getting suspicious. He starts to walk back to his car to run the ID, and then radio call. Backup needed. He practically throws the paperwork back at Scott and takes off. They're all breathing again. Scott floors it. They finish the delivery. The mission's accomplished, for now. Scott's got enough evidence to bring down a couple of guys, but that's not enough to him. He needed another operation. The game wasn't over. It was just getting started. The night after, Scott gets a phone call from Joe Doggs, the club's president.
Hey man, I want you to come over to the clubhouse. We're having church.
Without thinking much of it, Scott hops on his Harley and rides to the Outlaws clubhouse. He knocks on the door, Joe Doggs opens and says,
We're not ready yet. I'll open in a second.
Scott is thinking something's weird. Why would they let him wait outside if they'd already called him up? 5 minutes later, Clothesline, the enforcer who's supposed to be his good buddy, opens up and says,
Hey Tex, you got a minute?
Scott follows him to the back of the clubhouse. One outlaw in front of him and another one behind him. Scott goes through the mystery door down a narrow stairway into a small basement. They brandish their weapons and ask him to strip completely naked. Things aren't looking good. Scott starts having an adrenaline dump. Everything slows down. He's asked to write down his full name, address, kids' names, and his wife's name. As Scott went to write his name down, Scott Calloway, he couldn't remember his middle name. He couldn't remember anything.
Being stripped in a basement at gunpoint is not a big deal if you're not wired. You're just naked. It's uncomfortable. It's cold. When you're wired, it's a big deal.
To gain some time, he does a distraction technique by asking a question. He hears them shouting up to a probate office.
Hey, what else do you need for that website?
Back then, there was this site, who'sarat.com. They put his info along with a picture, and the website would give them if he's fed or not. Scott knew he had to cover his tracks. He stripped down to his ankles, and that's when he remembered his middle name, finally, and wrote it down. Higgy the state trooper and Joe the Brockton police guy are stationed nearby. They don't know anything about what's going on in the clubhouse. The last time they heard him speak was before taking the stairs to the basement. They knew something was up.